Hi, today I thought I would do a little video. I'm going to give it a go and try and see if it works, to show you how to print corners. You're going to hear background noise and everything. This is not like a super professional video, but I just thought I'd give it a go and see because this might be useful to you. You can see on this sheet of paper, this is where I was practicing printing the corners, and sometimes they worked and sometimes they didn't. And eventually what I did was I cut myself a mask, and this mask isn't foolproof, but it really helps. So let's give it a go, and I'll try and show you how to do that. Okay, first of all, you see I've got two A4 sheets of paper. This is sugar paper. The reason why I use sugar paper was firstly because I had some lying around at home, but also because it's a very absorbent type of paper. If you use a paper with too much gloss, what you'll find is that the ink might wipe off onto something else. Well, this will actually soak up the ink, which is great. The first thing to do is to pretend you're going to cut your A4 into a square. So I'm sure many of you have done this at some point of your life before. You're going to make a triangle, so take that corner to that side, not quite to the end, and just until your one end makes a perfect little point, and you've got a perfect diagonal. This is straight, meets up straight there, this should be straight down there, and then you're just going to fold it like that. And that is a 45-degree angle. So a 90-degree angle would be from there to there. This is half of the 90-degree angle, so it's a 45-degree angle. And because it's a 45-degree angle, that is the angle that we need. I'm just folding it again the other way so it's easier to, so the fold is more permanent. Okay, so that 45-degree angle is half of a corner. Now, normally when you make it a square you cut off that piece, but today we're cutting on the diagonal. So here we go. Okay, so they have one, and now I need another one because the corners, you don't want to be turning over your mask, because as soon as you turn it over you're going to get ink on your item, which you really don't want to do. Just going to do that same as last time. Fold the diagonal. I'm just folding it both ways so that my fold is strong, and then I'm going to cut on the fold. It might be a good idea to use a blade and a metal ruler to do this. So once again I throw away this triangle, and then we're left with these funny shapes. Okay, we've got two identical, but what I'm going to do is actually turn the one over so that we have two opposites. And let's quickly just take, I'm just going to take a pen and mark that that's the top and that's the top. I hope you could see that. Okay. The point with this, how it's going to work, is you're actually going to end up using this section of it. I've left the whole thing, even though we're only using this section, because it really depends on the size of your block as to how much of your diagonal you're going to use. Okay, but that all sounds confusing until I do it. So let me find a nice long block, and let's try. Okay, we're going to do a square around that way. I've got some navy ink here just because it's easier for you to see. Okay, and we're dabbing the ink onto the block, like that. Ah, rule number 1 is don't do it over your item, because as you can see I've splattered ink everywhere, but that's not the problem today, that's not the point today. This is just a scrap of paper that I'm showing you how to do it. So I want my phrase to point outwards, so I'm going to do it this way around. I'm going to place it down carefully. You see, I'm placing it in line with this edge. This edge is actually a very important edge of my mask. Okay. There we go. And there we've got half of our corner already printed. That's the 45-degree angle of the corner. Now what we want to do is print the other half of the corner. So if I used this one again, see, it wouldn't work. So what we need is this one. Okay. This one, what we're wanting to do is cover that piece with your mask. And what you're going to do is once again use this line to tell you where to put the block. And you're going to go over in that direction. I'll show you. I've done it at the bottom here, but I actually think I won't do a whole square. I'll just do a couple of corners so that you can see what I'm doing. I want my phrase pointing outwards, so they're going to go down. And I'm actually placing it on the mask. There we go. On the mask. Making sure that the pink lines up nicely with the block. And lift it off. And there I have my corner. Let's do another one so that I can show you again. Now that these are printed on one side, you can see which side goes up, and we don't turn them over at all because we don't want this ink on our surface. Okay, let's try one. Let's try going that way around. Okay, so if the block's going this way, dum dum dum, it needs to land on a piece, on this cornered piece where that ink was already printed. So we're never printing anywhere else on the mask, we're only printing on this section of the mask. Okay, so I'm going to place it on there. Get some more ink. Okay. Lining it up nicely here on this side. And on this side, we're slotting our mask in, making sure that it's in line with this line is in line with the block. And never mind what you've printed underneath there, you're printing over that. Wiggle, wiggle, and lift. And there we have our corner. Okay, half of the corner. Now, once again, we need the other mask. You keep alternating masks. Whenever you do a corner, you use one half and then you use the other half. So, a lovely lady sent me a video of the master artisans doing this in India. And I found it really interesting to see. They just do it so quickly and make it look so easy. And they just use a scrap piece of paper and just place a piece of paper at 45 degrees, and they know where 45 degrees is. And I don't know where 45 degrees is, and that's why this mask is really great. The next thing we want to do, we want to cover this, and we want to go up, right? So we're covering this. Now last time I thought we just, so you see the end of the block was there. I just wanted to meet up nicely there. Once again. Okay. lining it up with the pink line of the mask. Wiggle, 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 and lift, and there you've got your corner. So that should technically work with any block. It's not as if your motif is going to continue around the corner seamlessly. There'll always be a seam, and that's because the blocks aren't designed to go around corners. If you had a block that was specifically designed to go around a corner, it would be a different story. But so these will have a seam, but we still want the seam to meet up. Like this one didn't meet up totally, and I think that was because I didn't have the end perfectly connected. I'm going to use this block. This is a lovely one, but it's quite different to the others because the motif doesn't run that way, it actually runs the short way. So let's go with that. So when you use this one for a corner, I'm going to do a corner going that way. Okay. This one, you will start with the end of the block hitting the end of the mask, and this side of the block is parallel to your print. So you're going over there. But because this motif, because this is so wide, you actually want that width that way. So I would say that's probably 2 of these. That's what we're going to try and do. So if we repeat this one twice, excuse my hair annoying here. You can see that this corner of the block is now hitting this corner of the 45-degree line, and that means that I've got the whole 45 degrees working. Okay, we take that away. So we've got a nice big corner. From there, going down, and now just continue printing downwards. And you carry on with your line down this way. I'll do one more so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay, and that's how the motif would carry on. Now, to do the other band that way, we've used this piece already. We're now going to use this piece. And we're going to go placing our diagonal along the diagonal line here. I'm just going to take it out a little bit so that there's a little bit of an overlap. And we're using that pink line as our guide. Okay. Okay, so for this one, we really have to do it right from the edge. There's the edge. And we're going across and trying to keep the top edge of the block in line with the pink there. Okay, block 1. No, don't move it. Don't lift it yet. And we'll have to do the second one. And for that one, we're going to meet it over here. So. And lift. And voila. And there you have your seam and your corner. You want to see what it looks like with one more printed motif. Okay. Meeting that edge there, that edge there. Give it a good wiggle. And there we go. So there you've got your corner for the block that goes the other way. What do you call it? Anyway, that's what we have. I'm hoping that that would give you an indication of how to use the masks. I really think it's a useful tool. Shall I show you one more? One more. Okay, just one more. What about if we use this one? I'm going to need a little bit more ink. Just might get a cleaner edge with that one. Once again, you won't get half a flower and another half of a flower because the block hasn't been designed to go around corners. And let's just go down like that. So if we are going across that way, you can see we've already printed on that mask. We're going to be using that mask. Like that. You can start anywhere along that one for this one. You don't want to waste too much ink, so I'm going to go near the edge, near the 45-degree diagonal. Okay. There we go. There's our 45-degree. Now we've used this mask, we need to use the other mask. That might actually make sense to do the masks in different colors. So we're going to place this mask. Oh, wrong way, sorry. We cover, see, that would not have worked. We're covering the bit that you've printed. Putting the top edge on the edge of the printing, just leaving a little bit so that it can just, they can melt into each other. Okay. Now my block is going in line with that line. Okay. And as long as I do that, we hope and pray that it should make a beautiful little corner. And there we go. There's your seam. So I hope that was helpful. I would say it needs a lot of practice. Even I still do make mistakes here and there. But once you've printed the whole thing, it just gives it a nice, neat, square corner. Hope you enjoyed the video and that you'll be back for more. Thank you. Bye.